What's good, y'all, man? We are a day before the NBA draft, and I decided to drop my mock draft the day before because I also want to do something else, something special tomorrow, the day of. So, this mock draft is not a mock draft of who I think teams would take, but this is a mock draft of guys that I would take at their position. For the top half of the draft, we're not going to spend too much time on it because I don't want the video to be 40 minutes long. But towards the bottom half, and I'm only doing the first round, towards the bottom half of the first round, you will be getting a lot of explanation on why I picked those players at those spots. But let's get straight into this. Now, at number one, if you watched my video yesterday, you already knew who this was going to be. I have the Orlando Magic taking Paolo Banchero. Like I told you yesterday, he's the best player in the draft, the most NBA-ready player in the draft, and he has phenomenal potential. And like I said yesterday, the Magic have yet to draft the guy. They got Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, all decent surrounding pieces, but they don't have the guy yet. And I think out of the top three main guys, the Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith Jr., and Paolo Banchero, or however you say his last name, however you say his full name, I think he has the most potential to be the guy out of all those guys. And I think he will be the guy for the Orlando Magic. So at number one, we have them taking Paolo Banchero. Now at number two, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Chet Holmgren. Chet can make an immediate impact for this Thunder team, who already had a top defense with nobody over 7 foot. Do you add a guy who's a defensive anchor like Chet Holmgren at the center position? I expect them to have a dominant defense again. His question is about his size. I'm not really one of those guys to make that much questions about his size. I think he has good size. The weight's going to come down the line. He's going to grow into his NBA body. I believe he's only 19 years old. And I like him around guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey, guys who are willing passers. Kind of like, not Andrew Nembhard, but pass first guys like Josh Giddey will be really good for Chet Holmgren. So I have him going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. At three, we have the Houston Rockets taking Jabari Smith Jr. Jabari brings a player who's better off ball, which I think they really need. They got ball handling guards like Josh Christopher, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr. They need more off ball talent, and I think Jabari Smith Jr. fits that perfectly. He's an amazing off ball shooter. He's an amazing shooter for himself as far as creating for himself. The potential is high. A lot of people are going to compare him to KD. I see it. But I like Michael Porter Jr. more because like the shot is just so fluid and like you can't block it at all. But I also see the KD a little bit because like KD, they both have way better handles than Michael Porter Jr. does. So I like him going to this team. That's just that young core would be so exciting. I'm not gonna lie, that young core would be so exciting. That's automatically a league pass team, and I think he would fit perfectly with their young guys. So at three, I have them taking Jabari Smith Jr. At number four, I have the Sacramento Kings taking Keegan Murray. Now, a lot of people might have Jaden Ivey going to the Sacramento Kings, but with the interviews with Jaden Ivey, he doesn't seem to want to go there, and I don't think that's the avenue they should have took anyway. I think Keegan Murray fits better. They have always taken guys with the higher potential. You think about Marvin Bagley. Who was that one dude that they took that they tried to put around DeMarcus Cousins? I don't want to spend too much time thinking about it, but they always drafted potential. I feel like with De'Aaron Fox and with Domantas Sabonis, and also with wanting to win, wanting to make the playoffs, you gotta draft skill, and I think Keegan Murray just fits seamlessly next to the De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Great shooter for his size, can create a bucket at his size. I love the defense potential next to Domantas Sabonis, and I feel like those two as a tandem, they will fit perfectly, especially with the off-ball movement of Keegan Murray and the passing ability of Domantas Sabonis. That would be an exciting front court. Kind of small, but still exciting front court. Then you got a guy like De'Aaron Fox who's a bucket, also a willing passer himself. I think he fits perfectly next to Keegan Murray. So that's why I had the Sacramento Kings taken. Now, at 5, this is a curveball. Like I said, I'm making this draft. And this is not even a wild take or a wild draft pick. I have the Detroit Pistons taking Bennedict Mathurin. Now, y'all might be like, yo, Jaden Ivey is right there. And I hear it. But in my opinion, with a guy like Cade, you need to draft, or you need to put high-level shooters and also high-level defenders around Cade Cunningham. Not saying that Jaden Ivey wouldn't fit, but it's an argument. Benedict Mathurin might be the best shooter in the draft. It's an argument that he might be one of the best perimeter defenders in the draft. And he's not just a 3-and-D wing. He can come into the league automatically being a 3-and-D wing. That's why some people have him going to Portland, because they want to win, and he will fit already. But his potential is crazy. Reminds me a lot of Indiana, Victor Oladipo. And you put that next to Cade, that backcourt is scary. And then you got Saddiq Bey at the 3. They literally just traded Jeremy Grant like 20 minutes ago while I was cutting grass. But like that backcourt with Saddiq Bey, you find the center out there. Marvin Bagley was hooping last year. You want some shit, because I look at Cade like I look at Luka. He does not need that much. If you give him some talent, he'll take you there. And y'all see this year, man. My prediction for the Pistons, it's bold. But yeah, I haven't taken Benedict Mathurin. And at 6, I think Jaden Ivey gets his dream. He's from Indiana. Mom played for the Indiana Fever. And I have the Indiana Pacers drafting Jaden Ivey at the 6th pick. This just makes perfect sense for them. He's from Indiana, like I said. He fits perfectly next to the young core and Chris Duarte, Jalen Smith, Tyrese Halliburton. I love his potential off ball with Tyrese Halliburton. I love his potential on ball with Tyrese Halliburton, because Tyrese Halliburton gets a lot of his work off ball. And Jaden Ivey is a really good on ball player, can score, can shoot it, can create a little bit. I think a lot of people like to compare him to Ja Morant. I don't really like that. But I also see the comparisons because he is a willing passer. But I think Ja Morant is just a different level when it comes to playmaking. So I wouldn't say that. But I do love his potential next to those guys. And like I said with Paolo Banchero, he has the potential to be the guy for this team, because that's what all this team is missing. They have the great surrounding pieces in Tyrese and Jalen Smith and Isaiah Jackson and Chris Duarte and OJ Brissett, but they don't have the guy. And Jaden Ivey can definitely be that. Not spending too much time on this, man. You see, we're watching high school highlights. He didn't play in college. They just traded for Jeremy Grant, and I think they just going to bet on the potential. So I have the Portland Trail Blazers taking Shaedon Sharpe. I don't know why I paused right there, but I have them taking Shaedon Sharpe. I heard he was really competitive in the Portland workout, and I heard that Dame really liked him. So I have them betting on his potential. He can come in and already be a really good shooter for this team, so that will help. You just got to get him locked in on the defensive side. His interviews are terrible, though. I'm not gonna lie. For a person that didn't watch him in high school, his interviews got me thinking yo, what is he on? But athletic dude, fits perfectly with this team, what they want to do. Really good shooter, so I think they go here right now. I think they go Shaedon Sharpe. That's a bucket. Now, my first mock draft, I wasn't really high on Dyson Daniels. Now, I'm really, really high on him. I've been persuaded, and I have the Pelicans picking him. With this Pelican pick, man, they can't do nothing wrong. You just made the playoff. You had a good playoff run, too. You forced the best team in the league record-wise to 6 games. Probably would have won if CJ would have hooped. You get Zion back, and you get a lottery pick where you really can't pick nothing wrong. You can go Dyson Daniels, you can go Johnny Davis, you can go Ochai Agbaji. You can't go wrong right here. But like I said, I have been taking Dyson Daniels. The defensive potential in this kid is crazy, especially at a time down the line when they might be running a lineup with him and Herb Jones in the backcourt. The defense potential is crazy. He's also a really good playmaker. A lot of people have him as a shooting guard. I have him labeled as a point guard. I think his playmaking is the second best attribute of him after his defensive abilities. And I feel like he fits perfectly with this team. He kind of brings them what they got in Lonzo. A little bit less of a shooter, but the shooting mechanics is there. He shot, I think, 32% from 3, but I think he fits perfectly with this team. That's just talk about the rich get richer. Motherfucking rich. This got rich, man. Right here, the San Antonio Spurs, they also have a lot of options at 9. But for them, they have a lot of guards, so I have them taking Ousmane Dieng and betting on his potential. Ousmane is a huge wing with great scoring potential. Reminds me a lot of Brandon Ingram, especially how he gets to his spots in the paint. Not really the mid-range shooter that Brandon Ingram is, but the handles, the way he's patient off of screens. He reminds me a lot of Brandon Ingram, how he finishes over bigs. Reminds me a lot of Brandon Ingram. Had a rough start to his NBL season, but had a huge second half that showed a lot of potential. And you get that potential with the Spurs development system, it can just be dominant. So I have them taking Ousmane Dieng at the number 9th overall pick. At 10, I have Washington taking Jalen Duren. This was probably my first curveball, and this is one of my picks that I wasn't really too sure who to pick right here. But I was thinking at first going Johnny Davis. But I don't think Bradley Beal is not going to leave $100 million on the table. I think he's going to take that $250 million deal and just run away with it. And might request for a trade later on in the season. So I don't know if I would take Johnny Davis. But I would take Jalen Duren. I feel like he's NBA ready. He has the most NBA ready body in the league. He's 18 in the draft. He's 18 with a grown man ass body. I think he's 6'10", 250. Just full of muscle. Him in the backcourt with Kristaps Porzingis. Polar opposites. Jalen Duren's a grown man. Like, he will back you down. He's not scared to back you down. And I feel like them, as far as defensive tandem, they can be really scary. Both really good shot blockers. I think Jalen Duren is the better paint defender. He can defend bigger guys because he is bigger. And he won't really get body like that. I also like his potential in the post. And in the mid-range, he has a good little shot. Great form. And I love his potential for this team, especially since they're trying to make it back to the playoffs. And I also feel like he's a decent passer for his size. So, I'm going to go Jalen Duren at this position at number 10. Now, at number 11, I think the New York Knicks get their guy along with RJ Barrett because he's also their guy. I think they get the best scorer in the draft in Johnny Davis, and that video might come out tomorrow. Elite 3-level scorer. The 3 is coming. It's coming. That's why I call him Elite 3-level scorer. He shot 33% from the 3. Not the best, but in the post and in the paint, elite. Elite. Reminds me a lot of Jimmy Butler. Gets it, like, really strong, really competitive, big energy guy, really physical. Just reminds me everything of Jimmy Butler. And I feel like he's definitely a tips guy. Like I said, physical, strong, energy guy. And he's going to give his all on the defensive side. And I feel like a tandem with him and RJ, you've built the pieces around him. You got Emmanuel Quickly, Cam Reddish, who I hope they don't trade. There's been rumors about them trading Cam Reddish, which is so stupid. That young core can do something, especially with those two at the top of the young core. So at number 11, I have the New York Knicks taking baby Devin Booker, Johnny Davis. At the number 12 overall pick, I don't know why I said we. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Jeremy Sohan. I told y'all he was one of my favorite players in the draft a couple videos ago. I love his potential in OKC, especially next to a guy like Josh Giddey who can put him in his places, throw lobs to him. They are kind of logjam at the 4 position. They got Darius Bailey, Pokusevski. But they also logjam everywhere. And this is why I'm starting to get tired of Sam Presti, because he's drafting with all these picks instead of trading him. And now a lot of players not going to be able to reach their potential because the position is so filled. But putting a defensive monster next to this already deep young core, it's going to take it to the sky, man. The sky's the limit for them. And I also really love a front court of Chet and Jeremy Sohan. If they get that as a front court coming out the draft and you got another pick in the second round, man, they damn near won the draft. At 13, this might be my favorite pick so far, like I told y'all, and I think I made a Charlotte Hornets video after they lost in the play-in. The thing that they were missing is an elite 3-and-D wing, just perimeter defense at all. They're missing that. In this draft, at 13, I have them drafting the athletic Tari Eason. Adding a guy like this who is a beast on the defensive side should be the first priority for them in the offseason. He's not just a defensive guy, too. He can get his own on the offensive side, man. He's too quick for bigs. Guards are too small for him. He can finish over you. He can dunk on you. He can shoot on you. He's tough. He's tough, man. I'm not going to lie. I really want him to fall to the Cavs, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, man, because I really don't see him falling past 13 because of the defensive potential that the Charlotte Hornets have. But, man, if he do, him or Jalen Williams, I'm okay with, man. Tari Eason will fit perfectly, especially to a guy next to a guy like LaMelo. The lobs that they're going to throw, man, he's a huge dude, too. 6'10" guy, super huge, man. That's a perfect pick for them. And at number 14, man, y'all knew I was going to do it. The Cavs, they select Jalen Williams, man. I'm so high on this kid. Like I said with Paulo, it's guys in this draft that really don't have flaws. Maybe they're not too much elite at one thing, but they don't have flaws. Jalen Williams is that, man. He doesn't really have flaws. He can shoot, he can score, he can pass, he can get his own bucket, man. He's a good defender, pesky defender. Like, he fits so perfectly with us, and then the potential is through the roof. You pair him next to a guy like Darius Garland, allows Darius Garland to play more off ball because he wasn't able to do that at all last season. Because when he sat on the bench, we gave up a lead. Man, we get a guy like Jalen Williams, man. We're right back in the playoffs. I hope we get him, man. The potential is through the roof. I love this kid, man. So at 14, I have the Cavs taking Jalen Williams. Now at 15, this is most likely going to happen. But if the Charlotte Hornets come out with Tari Eason and Mark Williams, man, they will be on some shit next season because they are getting the defensive guys that they need around LaMelo. They finally get their center, a big that can help LaMelo's playmaking and also help him on the defensive side. It will help LaMelo's playmaking like not really much, but like his playmaking would be way better than it ever was because LaMelo has never had an above the rim center. They didn't really throw lobs to Mason Plumlee, which is crazy because Mason Plumlee has bunnies like that. But he really wasn't good in the pick and roll. He doesn't go to the basket at all. You get a center like Mark Williams, who's an above the rim center, knows how to run the pick and roll the right way. And you got him next to LaMelo, who has one of the best floaters we have in this game. You're basically gonna have to pick your poison, and LaMelo does a good job at hiding his floater. And you think he's gonna do a floater, it's definitely a lob, or you think it's gonna be a lob, then it's a floater. They're both really good at that. Not they're both really good at that, but he can run that with Mark Williams. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up a little bit with my words, but him and Mark Williams will fit perfectly. You come out of the draft, you get two defensive monsters in Tari Eason and Mark Williams. You're going to be on to some shit. And I think Mark Williams is an underrated passer. I think he doesn't get enough credit for his passing abilities. So, yep, I have them taking Mark Williams at number 15. And they are one of the draft winners coming out of this draft. Now, number 16. This is one of my favorite players. Been watching him since high school. He played for Hillcrest Prep with Maker. I don't know if y'all know who that is. Thon Maker brother or cousin, one of them. But I think the Hawks finally get what they've been wanting from a guard that could play next to Trey. They drafted Kevin Huerter. Well, Kevin Huerter came before Trey, but they signed Kevin Huerter to a long-term deal. Signed Bogdan Bogdanovic to a long-term deal, and it hasn't really worked out because they're both one-dimensional guards. They can shoot, sometimes score, but other than that, that's it. You get a guy like Dalen Terry, and you're doing the right thing. You need to put wings around Trae Young that can do multiple things on the court. Adding a guard like Dalen Terry who can literally do anything you ask, that's something that can propel your rebuild and help you get back to that spot you were at 2 years ago when you were in the Eastern Conference Finals. Dalen Terry, he can play make. He's a pest on defense. I love the potential next to Trae Young. His passing ability is crazy. He has a little mid-range shot that he shoots so often. He has to get better at his three-point shot, I'm not going to lie. But pairing him next to Trae Young, allowing Trae Young to play off ball, man, that will just help not only Trae Young, but the Hawks out so much. And that will propel them to get back to the playoffs, man. And Dalen Terry, he's a win-now player. NBA ready already. That potential, him and Trae in the backcourt, man, that's fun. First of all, that's fun, and it's crazy too, bro. Dalen Terry's nice. He's rising on some draft boards. I wouldn't be mad if my Cavs took him at 14 because he fits same way next to Darius Garland. But yeah, he's nice, bro. He's nice. I didn't think he'd be this good coming out of high school, man. I love seeing people I watched in high school go to the NBA, man. So shout out to him. I have the Hawks taking him at 16. Now, at number 17, I think I have the Houston Rockets taking the athletic, the sniper, Ochai Agbaji. I was thinking about Malachi Branham, but they have a guy like that in Josh Christopher coming off the bench, so that really didn't make sense. So I went with more wing depth, and I went with a guy who could shoot. And like I said, with Jabari Smith, I also went with a guy who could play off ball, and he fits perfectly with the young core. I have Ochai Agbaji going here, willing defender, can get his own buckets at times. Athleticism is through the roof. Fits perfectly with the team. Real perfect. So at 17, they are picking Ochai Agbaji. Also wouldn't be mad if he goes to my Cavs. Now at 18, I had the Bulls selecting E.J. Little. E.J. Little reminds me a lot of Grant Williams, but he's more of a better offensive player, more of a well-rounded offensive player. But the same way defensively, way more athletic. Fits perfectly next to Nikola Vucevic. Good defender all around. Can guard the bigs, can guard the guards, quick enough to guard the guards. Big enough to guard the fours. I question him guarding some fives, but he can play the small ball five at times. I like that he went back to Ohio State and well-rounded his game. Like, he's more of a better shooter now, more of a better shot creator, and I feel like that's what the Bulls need, and he's a better defender right now. So I have them taking E.J. Little. This is a perfect pick for them, especially if Zach LaVine stays. So, yep. That's what they take at 18. Now, I have the Ohio State boys going back-to-back, and I have the Timberwolves taking Malachi Branham. He fell. I'm not going to lie, he fell. He can fit with Trey. He can fit with Trey. He can fit with Trey at 16, so he can still go 16. I think he's a top 10 talent, but it's just other teams. Right now, you can see I'm drafting with need, and other teams need him more. But this team, the Timberwolves, they need him. The one thing that the Timberwolves lacked last year was the scoring punch off the bench. They didn't really let Jalen Noel play. I don't know why, because he's a bucket. But bringing a guy like Malachi Branham off the bench, who reminds me a lot of Karis LeVert, a mid-range bucket who can shoot, a decent playmaker, can defend, that's what the Timberwolves need coming off that bench. So I have them taking Malachi Branham, and hey, trade D'Lo. Got a little backcourt of Malachi Branham and Anthony Edwards. Not a lot of playmaking, but I just like the size of that backcourt. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the Timberwolves. Another player that fell in my mock, AJ Griffin. I got him going to the Spurs. Right here is where he finally gets picked. A 6'6" wing who's an elite three-point shooter. I believe he shot 45%. My fault. He shot 45% from the three. That's something this team really, really lacks. They don't have a shooter at all. Keldon Johnson, elite corner three-point shooter, not an elite shooter. They need elite shooting around this team. And you pair a guy like AJ Griffith next to a guy like DeJounte Murray. He'll be open a lot because DeJounte Murray draws a lot of attention, and he's a willing passer, an elite passer at that. So I have them taking AJ Griffin at the 20th overall pick. At the 21st overall pick, I have the Denver Nuggets taking the athletic 3-and-D wing, MerJon Beauchamp. The one thing that this team needs is also perimeter defense. MerJon Beauchamp is one of the best perimeter defenders we have in this draft. I also love his mindset. I believe he just had a workout with the Nuggets, and this is where I got this video from. I'm not going to play it, but in the video he said he felt like he can be a really good 3-and-D wing for the team, and he also felt like he was a really good cutter. And I just love guys like that know their role. And he already knows if he goes to a team like this, that's going to be his role. He wants to be the best at that. And I love that. And I feel like he can do that. He's already a really good defensive guy. He just got to get better at the three-point shot. Can create for himself a little bit. He's not just a simple 3-and-D wing. So, hey, I got him going to the Nuggets, coming off that bench with Bones, Highland, and them guys. I like that. The 22nd, I believe, overall pick, I have the Memphis Grizzlies taking Walker Kessler. He fits perfectly with this team. A great guy type guy. Good finisher around the rim. Good rebounding center. Hope he gets a little bit faster so he can guard the guards on switches and stuff. But I feel like he can be a really good pick and roll partner next to Ja. Learn from Steven Adams and stuff. And if you're trying to drive to the lane and go for a layup on Jaren Jackson and Walker Kessler, I pray for you. Two elite shot blockers. I pray for you, man. Because Walker Kessler, really good defensively. Like I said, just hope he gets a little bit faster on the wing so he can guard the bigs. Not guard the big, guard the guards around the wing. But yep, that's why I have them taking at 22. Now, the one thing that the 76ers lacked last year, coming off the bench especially, was shot creating and shooters. Right here at I think I said 23. I have them taken, to me, probably the best shooter in the draft. Or one of the best shooters in the draft. And one of the best creators in the draft. 6'10", Nikola Jovic. Bro, when you watch him, it just screams Michael Porter Jr. It really does. High release and everything. Got a little bit of mid-range game. The shot's so quick, it's hard to block. Huge guard, because Michael Porter Jr. is not a guard, but still, they're both 6'10". They remind me a lot of each other, man. I have him going to the 76ers, playing well off that bench. He can even play well with the starters, too. Defense scares me because it's like nothing there. But, hey, get a guy like Doc Rivers, a veteran coach, help him get better at defense, I guess. I said earlier, the rich get richer. The one thing that the Bucks were missing was a shot creator off the bench, a bucket off the bench. Right here, I have them taking Jaden Hardy. Jaden Hardy is an elite bucket. Talent-wise, he shouldn't go past 14. Like, literally, he shouldn't go past 14. Like, if we was to draft him, I would actually be hyped. Because I think the shit that he doesn't get the credit for. He's a bucket, but I think people would just tell you that that's all it is. He's just a bucket. The dude can pass, bro. The dude can pass. The dude can play make. He could be a backup guard, a backup point guard if needed. He didn't really play with the talent level that he's going to play with in the NBA or the G League in 19. So I love his potential. It sucks that I got him falling this far. But like I said, man, if he was to get picked high, I don't think a lot of people should be surprised because the kid is tough. He's tough. Now, I think this is 25. This is the Spurs' third draft pick in the first round. I don't think they make this pick. But I have them taking Peyton Watson. I have them throwing a curveball and taking Peyton Watson. This is a reach. Not gonna lie, this is a reach. But I really like Peyton Watson. I'm not gonna lie. I just picked him right here because I really like him. And I want him to go to a team like the Spurs. Dynamic wing. Dynamic wing is how I describe him. Not really so much a bucket getter, but just a long wing. He could shoot it. He could shoot the lights out of the ball, shoot the pill out of the ball. I don't know what they say. I just like Peyton Watson. I don't really have a description for him, man. I just like Peyton Watson. I'm not gonna lie. Now let's say that the Houston Rockets make all three of their first round picks. You come out the draft with Jabari Smith Jr., Ochai Agbaji, and Ty Washington. I was about to call him Ty Jerome. They win the draft. They get their point guard because I don't think KPJ is a point guard. Ty Washington is a legit point guard. Him and them pick and roll with Sengun, that scares me. Not right now, but like when it gets to his fullest potential, that scares me because he's super quick. Sengun's super shifty, can pass the ball. I love Ty's passing. I don't think he's getting enough credit for his passing. I think people label him as a score first type guard. I think he's a pass first type point. And I love his passing, especially in the pick and roll. And I feel like he fits perfectly with this team. I wouldn't label him as a playmaker yet, but I see the attributes that he will be a good one down the line. And he's a really good shooter. Really good off-ball player, too. So, like I said, just putting them off-ball guys around them ball-dominant guys, man, you just see what you can get. So, right here, I have him taking Ty at 26. So, you lose Kyle Lowry and you get a guy like Kennedy Chandler. That's what the Heat are about to do. I have the Heat going out there and chasing Kyle Lowry's understudy and getting Kennedy Chandler. They play just alike, bro. A small defensive-minded guard who can score, shoot, who's also a good playmaker. He fits perfectly with the culture. A great guy. I even would have him going to the Memphis Grizzlies because he fit perfectly with them. But I also think he's really cool with Ja. But I have him going to the Heat, man. And I have him learning under Kyle Lowry. And I love his career if he learns under Kyle Lowry because they played just alike. They just alike. 6'4", 6'1" guards that can do anything. His best attribute is his defense, which is crazy because he's 6 foot. But you're not going to score that much buckets on him. He's really pesky. Really hard to dribble on. You're going to have to get them off-ball buckets on him. Because he won't come out of nowhere and take your shit. Now, at 28, I did just see that the Warriors might trade this pick. But if they don't, Christian Braun fits perfectly. Off-ball shooter. Good defender. Has quick feet. Had quick hands on the perimeter. Really good defender. Actually, I'll give him that. NBA-ready player. Can help out instantly. I don't think they need to go out there and draft a guy like Bryce McGowens or anything like that. Because that's going to take some time. I think you get an NBA-ready player. Help you out right now. Just won the NCAA championship. Y'all just won a championship. Go out here and get Christian Braun. Now I'm gonna just say these last two. I'm not even gonna switch to highlights. I have the Grizzlies taking Bryce McGowens. I know I just talked about him, but the Grizzlies can't wait till the potential pops up. Because when the potential pops up for Bryce McGowan, we're looking at an elite 3-level scorer in the draft. Probably one of the best scorers in the draft. I will have him right after Johnny Davis. It's the argument, though. It's the argument. But yeah, bucket. That's what the Grizzlies need. More buckets. Because Ja at times can be stopped. Desmond McBain at times cannot hit his threes. They don't have a 3-level scorer yet. Bryce McGowan is it. And then at 30, I have the Nuggets taking Max Christie. Just a bucket. I'm not a bucket, just a shooter. Good defender, played great off ball. Energy guy. Fits perfectly next to Jokic. He'll find them. So yeah, that's it for this mock draft, man. It sucks that this video is still damn near 40 minutes long. But hey, that's what you get. I'll talk to y'all later with another video tomorrow. Peace out.